Welcome back to Autism Live. We have a guest joining us via Skype that I can't wait to talk to, but I wasn't able to hear him in my ear, you guys. So I don't know what you need to do so I can hear him. But Krystian Shaw is going to be joining us. He is from the Kamloops Self-Advocate newsletter, which can be reached at the Kamloops, and that's spelled Kamloops, then self-advocate at yahoo.com. And Krystian had written to us and said, I own a disability awareness and success stories newsletter called the Kamloops Self-Advocate Network to stomp out stigma and discrimination around all disabilities, including but not limited to mental health issues. We've been in business for over 5 years, and I'd like to get the word out there about my newsletter business. People should only judge us based on the content of our character. He says, that's my mandate for the newsletter and why I started it. My newsletters are online and offline. I would also like to stomp out stigma and discrimination on your radio show. So I hope he's going to tell us if we are doing anything that's perpetuating stigma or discrimination, because here's the thing. If we are, I do want to know about it, you guys. I do have a lot of self-advocates who write into us, and if there's something that we're doing, because that's not our intention, right? Okay, and he says, I'd like to showcase our newsletter worldwide, and there are articles in the Kamloops Self-Advocate newsletter that can apply to everyone, even people with disabilities worldwide. And he wants to get access to stories and post it on the newsletter groups and on Facebook to increase their followers and readers worldwide. So fabulous. So do we have him yet in my earpiece? Krystian, are you there? Okay, they're having a little bit of problem with because we're talking, he's all the way in British Columbia, Canada, so they're trying to get him back on the line. I'm going to go ahead and read more of what he wrote to us here. The Kamloops Self-Advocate newsletter is a disability awareness and success stories newsletter covering all disabilities. I was born with intellectual disabilities and an anxiety disorder myself. Okay, so Krystian, are you there?
Yes, I am.
I am so happy to meet you and to talk to you. We've been reading a little bit about what you had written to us about your newsletter, but tell me all about your newsletter.
I focus on disability awareness and success stories, which also includes autism, to help stomp out stigma and discrimination in the world.
And that's a very important thing to us as well. I know one of the things that you said in your letter is that you'd like to stomp out the stigma and discrimination in our radio show. Are you seeing us do things that create stigma and discrimination, Krystian?
Nope.
Oh, well, thank you. Then I'm glad we don't have anything to stomp out. But I want to say to everybody, if you do see that, please know that that is not our intent, and that we need to, if that happens, we need to be educated, and we appreciate that. But Krystian, I want to talk to you a little bit about, you asked for us to ask you about your mom.
People told my mom that I couldn't ever read and write, but I proved them wrong.
Yeah, you got your own newsletter. You absolutely proved them wrong. When your mom was told that, were you there? Did you hear people say that you would never be able to read and write?
Nope, that was in my school files and stuff, but I only got told from my mom.
And did your mom believe it? Did she
Nope.
Did she think that you would be able...
She said with the right support that you have in place, you can do anything you set your mind to.
Well, amen to that. Your mom sounds like a really strong woman.
Yeah.
And so what kinds of things did your mom do to set you up for success? How did she help you to be able to learn to read and write?
I got lots of support by different disability services in my life when I was growing up and during my adulthood.
And so you're 29 years old now?
Yeah.
But you started the newsletter when you were 22. What made you want to start? Was there something that happened that made you want to start the newsletter?
I had a mental health issue and people were afraid of it and didn't understand what my disability is like and stuff, because I also have developmental disabilities and a mental health issue with it, and they didn't know and they were afraid of me, and so they thought to be my friend.
And and now that you've been doing the newsletter for the last few years, do you feel that it has helped you with some of those issues that you were just talking about?
Yes.
And so how can people access the newsletter, and how can we help support you?
By writing into your articles to the Kamloops self-advocate at yahoo.com, which is my work email, or you can go onto my podcast and we can do podcasts together and I can interview you.
Oh, I would love to do that. I would absolutely love to do that. And I'm sure that we have some viewers who would love to do that as well. So, how often does the newsletter come out?
Once a month in Kamloops, British Columbia, and around on the world online.
Okay. So, is there a certain day of the month that it comes out?
It comes out the first of the month, which is actually the 1st of February, possibly.
Okay. And so then do you take the whole month? Does it take you a whole month to put it together, or you just work on it in the last week of the month before? Like, are you working on February?
I get articles to me by the 15th of the month.
Okay. Wonderful. And so there's no cost for the newsletter.
No, it's totally free with ads inside, but it's totally free for the community to help stop stigma and discrimination with ads inside.
And if people want to be a sponsor, they can reach you at the Kamloops Self Advocate at yahoo.com.
Yeah.
And how much does it cost to be a sponsor?
I haven't thought of that yet.
Okay.
I only get ads in Kamloops.
Okay. Well, and so you mean on the website or on the newsletter?
In the newsletter, there's ads.
Okay, and so how much are they? How much does it cost for that?
It costs $25 for 46 months, and if you advertise for a short time, then it's a little bit more money.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a great deal. I got to be honest, Krystian, that's a great deal. So if people want to sponsor, I'm sure there's a lot of people with businesses that would want to sponsor. You can absolutely do that and help Krystian to keep his newsletter afloat. So, Krystian, I just want to thank you for writing to us and for doing this important work, because it's good for all of us. We all need to be active in stomping out stigma and discrimination against all individuals of all abilities.
Yeah, and just recently, before we are ending this call,
yes,
I am also branching out with homeless people too.
Oh, and that's a really important topic, because as we know, there's a lot of people who are homeless that are part of the reason why they're homeless is because they have mental illness or things that they could use more support and didn't get them. So I think that's a really important thing, and thank you for including that, because it's important for all of us to support individuals who are homeless as well. I'm so impressed with all that you've been able to do, Krystian. You're an amazing young man. What's next for you? Have you got something else? You're going to really stay focused on Kamloops?
I am focusing in on the whole world.
I love that.
By putting it online.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for being with us, Krystian, and thank you for being patient with us while we dealt with the technical issues.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. We are unfortunately past out of time, and so I apologize that we didn't have more time to spend with Krystian. And next week we are back. We've got more shows coming, and Next week, we're going to be unveiling a new schedule that we're going to have here at Autism Live so that we can bring you more shows, more information, more of the time, all in free. Thank you, Krystian. All in a little bit more time. So we'll be unveiling that next week. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.